Hi, welcome to A Practical Approach. I'd like to tell you about autism and the way it impacts on my life. It's easy to pick up a book and read someone else's views, but let me tell you what it's really like to live with autism. Before I start, I'd like to stress how important it is for a person to be diagnosed early in their life. This way the person and their families can gain the correct support and guidance from those around them. As some people may know, autism is a spectrum condition, which means everyone with the condition is completely different. The spectrum starts with classic autism and goes right through to savant, with Asperger's syndrome lying somewhere between the two. Classic autism is where the person is totally self-absorbed and it may seem as if they're in their own little world. These people are generally low functioning. Asperger's syndrome is where the person may seek to be sociable but finds it hard, often reacting inappropriately. This can be frustrating for them and embarrassing. Asperger's syndrome is also known as high-functioning autism. However, a person with Asperger's may be lower functioning than people realise. A person with autism often avoids eye contact, resists being picked up when a child, and seems to tune out to the world around them. This often results in a lack of cooperative play with peers, an impaired ability to develop friendships, and the inability to understand other people's feelings. Even though everyone on the spectrum is different, all people who have autism have three things in common. 1. We have social and emotional difficulties, meaning that we find it hard to make friends and understand people. 2. We have difficulties with our language and communication, meaning that we don't always understand jokes and sometimes find it hard to communicate what we want. And 3. We have difficulties with our flexibility of thought, meaning that we have a concrete understanding of everything someone says and find it hard to recognise double meanings. An autistic person's language is often slow to develop, sometimes not developing at all. If it does develop, it can include unusual speech patterns or the use of words without attachment to their normal meaning. Those who are able to use language effectively may still use unusual metaphors or speak in a formal and monotone voice. As well as having problems with the three things I've already told you, we also have huge problems with our sensory processing. Let me give you an example. How many of you like going to the supermarket just before Christmas? It's difficult, isn't it? You've got the buzz of chatter, the smell of food, the babies crying, the bright lights shining, not to mention the beeps from the checkout. If you times this nightmare by 10, you'll realise how hard it is for a person with autism in the supermarket on any normal day, not just Christmas. For us, the build-up of information inside our body can often make us lose control and require lots of help. The best way to manage sensory overload is for people to give me lots of structure and routine so I can block out distraction and concentrate on what's important. This can be done in many ways, but my favourite is symbols with words next to them, as this way my brain doesn't need to work as hard to see what I have to do. As time goes on, I'm gradually using less symbols as I get used to the activities I'm doing. I could obviously stand here all day and talk to you about autism, but I hope I've given you a good introduction to the condition. If you want to know more, go and check out the Beechwood College website. But from me, thank you very much for listening.